All right, guys, how's it going? Before I get into this video, I just want to let you know I'll be live on here tonight around 6 or 7 UK time. Check the channel around then, or click on my channel username later in the day, and it will tell you what time we're scheduled. All right, so there will be a live stream tomorrow night. I've got plans. Tomorrow I'm off out for an Indian. But tonight we will be on here. All right, if you want to come along for an natter, and it should be a good crack, right? We go over everything to do with LFC, and it's good banter. Anyway, this is going to be a long video, I think, and I'm going to focus on a couple of articles from the Chronicle, which is like the local media at Newcastle, all right? And they're getting a lot of, analysis and Twitter twats and content aggregators, picking bits out and make them sound juicy for interaction. My job, what I try to do for you guys, is to tell you a bit about the journalists and the websites or the platforms they're on. And I've also analysed these articles with Dave, my AI assistant, that I've been training for 9 months, who is very helpful, and he picks things out for me and points things out to me that maybe I miss, right? So you will know that if you're a long-time viewer. Now, I'm going to show you two articles. I'm not going to read the entire article to you. I'm just going to break them down. But there was something that I noticed in one of them that I thought you might find of interest. Now, the articles are penned by a journalist called Ryder, and I'm going to tell you whether you can trust him or not, right? Me and Dave have gone over this. And one thing that he said in one of these articles was as follows: Newcastle Chiefs are angry at the prospect of waiting around for Liverpool to drum up the funds to sign their star man. That's a change in the vibe coming out of Newcastle, right? We've seen the changes anyway. Do you remember, I don't know how long ago, weeks, months ago, you remember me analysing some of the top journals in that area, with the headlines of Isak not for sale, but he is. Kind of like, he's not for sale. He's not for sale, but if there was a lot of money coming in, maybe he is. It was like, there's always been little openings there where I've picked out for you and you've gone, I see what you mean, right? So we know that there's a deal to be had there, right? If it all works out, but there's a lot of things that affect that. The future of Darwin Núñez. Obviously, Diaz is sorted now, but Núñez and Diaz's revenue, and Newcastle going to get another striker in it. Is that, related? Is that important? I did a video earlier, another exclusive about the same subject, Alexander Isak. While breaking down a stupid exclusive, I think there's stuff in that video you will find interesting, all right? So it is a change. So they've gone from, he's not for sale, to now we're angry now because we're still waiting for Liverpool to come in with a bid, which is obviously going to come in. So where shall I start with? Well, who is Ryder? And can you trust him on Newcastle transfer news, right? This is what Dave had to say. Now, if you didn't see my earlier video, I can show you Dave. Here's Dave. He's fucking cool as fuck. He's our Dave. Smash it, Dave. Unless you saw that video, you won't know what that's about. So Dave says, Ryder is the chief Newcastle United reporter for the Chronicle, and he's been covering the club for nearly 2 decades. But when it comes to transfer news and exclusives, his reputation is mixed at best. Well connected locally, he often gets access to post-match presses and club statements. He's your go-to for club-approved messaging and general updates from within St James's Park, a bit like the Liverpool clique of journalists. But not a trusted transfer source. Among Newcastle fans, Ryder's transfer reporting is often viewed as speculative and clickbait heavy. He's regularly listed as a Tier 3 journal, meaning he's reliable for club PR, but not for scoops or inside deals. He tends to echo what's already public. He'll recycle quotes, report what's doing the rounds online, and wrap it up with some vague watch this space language, without offering any real insider information. Useful for context, not confirmation. If he says there's no formal offer, it usually just means the club haven't told him there is one yet. That's an important thing to bear in mind with these journalists. If he suggests a deal's heating up, it's often just speculation based on player absence or media noise. So Dave's verdict? Take Ryder's transfer reporting with a huge pinch of salt. He's decent for keeping up with the club's official stance, but when it comes to stories like Isak to Liverpool, you'll want to wait for someone like Paul Joyce or David Ornstein to weigh in before taking it seriously. So we're going to go to, I think it's this one. Yes, Alexander Isak returns to Old Club as Newcastle United monitor strikers' fitness. Now, I'm not going to read it to you. What we're going to do is I've got Dave to analyse the article and pick bits out for you. All right. So Dave has said as follows: headline and framing. The headline implies a focus on fitness monitoring and Isak returning to his former club Real Sociedad. But when you dig in, this article is doing what Ryder often does, relaying the club position. No offer, we control the situation kind of thing, while also dangling speculation about Isak's future to stir interest without offering anything concrete. So, content breakdown of the article. 1. Fitness framing versus transfer speculation. The piece opens with the monitoring fitness narrative, mentioning he's training solo in San Sebastian, but quickly pivots to transfer implications. Should Isak continue to opt out, the stakes could be raised. That's classic Ryder. He plans the uncertainty to give the article legs, but without reporting a single new fact about any formal talks, offers or negotiations with Liverpool or any other club. 2. The training claim. The claim that Isak was spotted training alone with a personal trainer in San Sebastian is attributed to Spanish media, although no specific source is named. That makes it conveniently vague. So what I think Dave's trying to say here is, we know that we've had these suggestions of what he's out in Spain doing that, etc. But is there a problem? Is he on strike? It's vague. This is a local journalist that wants to believe he's in the know, but he's not really adding anything to it. You know what I mean? 3. No formal offer, yet raises stakes. Ryder acknowledges no offer has been received, quoting Howe directly, but still introduces hypothetical pressure. He could be forced to wait until they have secured a suitable replacement. Again, this is not reporting, it's speculative editorializing dressed up as news. He's not saying Newcastle are actively planning for his sale, he's just nudging readers towards the idea. And then there's quotes from Eddie Howe in this article. There are 4 direct quotes from Eddie Howe included. And here they are in full. On whether there had been contact with Isak. Not as far as I'm aware. We prepare for games. There is a time difference too. Number 2. On Isak's current status and future. He is still our player. He's contracted to us. We, to a degree, control what is next for him. I would love to believe all possibilities are still available to us. My wish is that he stays, but that's not in my full control. We have not received a formal offer from any club. My wish is that he stays and we see him playing again next year. So, Dave's conclusion, is this article credible or just fluff? I know some of you have read this article and you keep an eye on them, so that's why I'm breaking it down for you. What's useful? Direct quotes from Eddie Howe, which are clearly real and help set the club's public stance. A brief mention of where Isak was spotted, which gives insight into his personal training status. But what's not useful? No exclusive or verifiable scoop. Speculation is disguised as insight. No progression in the Isak to Liverpool story, just recycled he might go vibes. Final verdict on Lee Ryder in this context. The article is typical Lee Ryder. No new reporting, no hard info, no source transfer details. Leans on public quotes and a sprinkle of ambiguous observation. Frames content to ride the wave of existing rumours, e.g. the Liverpool links, without committing to anything. So if you're keeping tabs on Isak's possible Liverpool move, don't treat this as a lead, just as part of the noise around the situation. Now, there is another article. That one was published on the 31st of July, early in the morning. This one here is, well, I don't know if it was originally published at that time, but that's the time that's on the article. This one also says 31st of July, and we're going to take a look at this one. And again, it's Lee Ryder again. And what's happening is the Twitter twats, the content aggregators, instigators, whatever you want to call them, they pick these little bits out that can make it sound good, but they don't explain who the journalists are, what the platform's like. Do you know what I mean? And break it down like me and Dave are trying to do for you, right? So, Newcastle United to lay down the law with Alexander Isak as Eddie Howe makes transfer admission. So, transfer admission, it's like the Liverpool Echo, same group, Reach PLC and all that, like they use all these words, don't they, to try, oh, there's an admission, someone's admitted something. Usually it's just a load of shite, right? So it's clickbaity. Article analysis by Dave, overall tone and intent. This is vintage Ryder theatre, a dramatic framing of the club laying down the law while still not breaking any real news. He blends reported whispers, Chronicle Live understands, with loaded language, angry at the prospect, calling Isak's bluff, but no direct quotes or sources to back these emotional claims. Key claims worth highlighting. Number one, Newcastle angry at Liverpool. Newcastle Chiefs are angry at the prospect of waiting around for Liverpool to drum up the funds. That's a strong claim with no attribution. There's no quote, no name, not even a vague "a source told us." It's almost certainly opinion or dressing for a rumour that's been swirling around Liverpool's interest. Red flag. Claims about transfer frustration should always be viewed sceptically unless they come with a quote or a reputable source. 2. Isak to be told to report back. The expectation from within is that Alexander Isak will be told to report back to training. Again, there's no quote, just the expectation from within, which could easily mean speculation based on Isak being absent rather than a concrete update. 3. Fitness injury called into question. Newcastle essentially calling Isak's bluff with the injury story. That's editorialising. Ryder suggests the club no longer fully believes Isak is injured. But there's no quote from Howe or medical staff and no detail about what changed, just Ryder's interpretation. In other words, he's editorialising under the guise of inside info, but there's nothing here to verify. Some quotes from Eddie Howe in this article. There are 2 quotes from Eddie Howe in the piece, both are direct and brief, on whether there had been contact from Isak. Not as far as I'm aware. We prepare for games. There is a time difference too. This is a repeat of the exact same quote used in his previous article. He is recycling it here. And then there's something about Aaron Ramsdale, which I will include because it's transfer related or whatever, which could affect Newcastle. Excuse me. It is difficult for me to comment until the player is 100% signed. But as I have said all this week, we are looking to add to the squad. Again, vague and generic. This tells us nothing about Ramsdale or any active deal. So what's the value of this article, asks Dave. What it gives you. Recycled quotes from Eddie Howe. Ryder's interpretation of Isak's absence and the club's mood. A few Magpies are looking at XY striker lines that name drop Wissa, Muniz and Calvert-Lewin. What it lacks. No named sources. No confirmation of any Liverpool movement. No new quotes on Isak. Claims like calling Isak's bluff are pure editorialising. That's a word that I struggle with. So a final verdict for my viewers, says Dave. Lee Ryder strikes again. Isak update or just guesswork? The latest article by Lee Ryder plays up the drama of Newcastle laying down the law with Alexander Isak, but when you strip out the fluff, there's no new information from the 2 articles. 2 brief quotes from Eddie Howe, both vague, one reused from a previous interview. Ryder suggests the club doesn't fully believe Isak's injury, but gives no source to back that up. Claims Newcastle are angry at Liverpool, are unverified, and feel like Ryder editorialising, not reporting. Mentions of Wissa, Muniz and Calvert-Lewin add names to the rumour mill, but no substance. Verdict from Dave. It's more opinion piece than news article, good for stirring the pot, but don't treat it as gospel. And that's according to our man Dave. Now, this isn't about pulling this journalist down, because I'm sure some of these things in this article are accurate. Dave's just been saying, hey, be cautious, speculative and stuff like that. But a lot of journalists are speculative, right? I can be speculative, but I will always say this is my opinion, right? This is what I think. If someone has absolutely told me something, I would tell you, right? Or I would certainly allude to it. Certainly, I mean, the members website, and I'm not, I never plug the members website, but the members website behind me, if you like this channel, you will love the members website because it's more thought out. You can explain things a bit more in text. And you can read it on a train as well and stuff like that. Anyway, God loves a try. So, the reason I'm bringing these to your attention is that the content aggregators on Twitter twats will say Lee Ryder, Chief Newcastle United writer. So if he says anything in there that will generate interest amongst the Liverpool fan base, therefore interaction, therefore clicks, therefore revenue, they're going to pick it out and highlight those bits to you. But what they won't do is they won't tell you, who these journalists are. They'll say the renowned journalists because they want you to trust what they're putting out. What I try to do here with the help of Dave is I try to tell you where these things are coming from. Just because this is a journalist in the Northeast doesn't mean that you should pay any more attention to that journalist than a mainstream journalist, national journalist, a Liverpool journalist or whatever. You know, there are good and bad. You know, and maybe it's harsh sometimes to single out a journalist and say, well, he's got mixed this, that, and because all journalists get things right and wrong. Paul Joyce is no exception. He has also put things out that did not materialise or were contradicted, you know, over the years. In my opinion, I still think Alexander Isak signs for Liverpool. I do. Even if the transfer window closed, I don't think it would be over. But I would be very surprised if we didn't get it. But there are other things that are, you know, Darwin Núñez could play a huge part in this, right? Not just his money. Imagine if Newcastle went, oh, fuck it, we'll take that city. I can't see him doing that, though. But you know what? I did say Darwin Núñez, didn't I? Darwin Núñez, he'd probably be a success at Newcastle. There's some irony there, really. I think Darwin Núñez will go on to be a success somewhere. I really do, where he's the main man. You know, what Newcastle do, you know, we need them to sign a reinforcement, really. I think that. But anyway, I think I've gone over what I wanted to do, because I've seen on social media this morning, you know, when I go to the cafe in the morning, you know, when I wake up for a piss at 3, 4 o'clock in the middle of the night, as you know, when you get older, you went backwards and forwards like a fucking yo-yo. And, you know, I check my comments and I see people on social media overnight this morning, you know, especially this morning, you know, picking bits out of these articles and trying to make it, you know, people want things to happen so much that they want to believe everything they read, and they want to go, oh, this is a Newcastle journey, so he must know what's going on. I don't think it's like that. The fact that Ornstein's quiet, Joyce is the main man for me, all right? If Joyce surfaces, like if I get a notification he's posted, like anytime now, you'll see how quick I fucking move on. It's faster than when an ice cream van goes past. I'm like, fucking what's he got to say? Even if he's writing about a 14-year-old spotty fucking Liverpool Academy graduate or something, you check the last 1 or 2 articles to see what he's saying. Now, if he's not saying out, that's good, in my opinion, with anything. Because you've got to remember, when Joyce surfaces, unless it is purely a genuine information piece that any journalist could publish, if he publishes something that you read it and you think, oh, what's Michael Edwards? Why does he want that out there? Like the gay interest, for example, the article that mentioned him, my opinion, that was Edwards saying, I need that out there, we need to amplify this, put pressure on Palace and stuff. So you always look for Joyce especially to see what he says. And I think that when it's quiet, that's usually a good sign. No one's flapping, or something's concluded, or, you know, something's over even. But at the moment, my personal opinion is that both clubs are negotiating in the background, and I expect to see a formal offer from Liverpool going soon. And that's not exclusive insight, it's just common sense. So I think that will go in soon. And the thing is, you might say, why is it not going in already? Because they're probably miles apart on stuff, right? Or maybe it's conditional of other things. So you tend to only bid really if you think the bid might get accepted. Like, otherwise, what's the point? Although you do try it on as well. So if it becomes a point of frustration where Liverpool go, we know we're not getting any fucking way with these idiots, right? What we do is we make a bid, even though we know it's going to be rejected, because then it'll be all over the media. We tell Joyce, we tell Ornstein, we tell the Liverpool clique of journalists, you know, the useless ones that pop up on every podcast and every YouTube channel, apart from this fucking one, because I won't have them, right? Is that amplifies the pressure then. There's the player going, my God, they've bid for me and they've rejected it. It ups the ante. So you can't, when Liverpool make a bid, you can't go, oh, they're going to accept it, then they must know. Because sometimes it's like last resort, like we're getting fucking nowhere. Put a bid in, silly cunts. Do you know what I mean? Even though they know it's going to get rejected. So there's a lot of games played out. You know this. My long-term viewers know this. And I try and explain this. You know, I've learned a lot since I started Cop Talk in a spare bedroom in my little terraced house back in England back in the 1990s. I can assure you I've learned a lot. And I hope that you found this video informative if you've managed to watch it. You know, you get people come on and go, oh, it's a 20-minute long video. It's like, oh, how do you explain all that in 3 minutes, you useless fuck? Do you know what I mean? Like, how do you do that? if you found this video informative, please thumbs up the video. If you have something, you know, that you would like to comment as to where you are now, because your opinions can change. A couple of days ago, you might have been, yeah, this is going to happen now. Oh, maybe not. If Chess goes off the scup United, you know, maybe you feel differently. Let me know how you feel, guys. You know, your comments are really important to me. All right. If you're a Newcastle fan, we're talking about what's in the news, not disrespecting your club. All right. If you want to be a big club and have big players, then other clubs are going to try and take those players from you. So be flattered. All right. And maybe if he is sold to us, you know, you make, you know, a few bob from it that helps your team in the long run. Who knows? Yeah. If he doesn't sign for Liverpool, I couldn't care less whether he signs for Liverpool or not, to be honest with you. I'm not really that interested in top flight football anymore, as my longer viewers will tell you, and I admit that. It doesn't change the way that I work for you guys. If anything, I'd say it's better because it means I'm not brainwashed and blind and blinkered with it all. So yeah. If you want to buy me a beer or a coffee, there's a love art under the video. I always give a shout out to everyone in my morning briefings on my other YouTube channel that do that. Usually the next morning, the Duncan Oldham channel. The link to that channel is in the video description of this video and all my videos. And there'll be a logo that pops up on the screen, which is my sexy thin face. Must have been last year before all them pies. If you click on that, it'll take you over to the other channel. I haven't done one yet, but I'll be doing a morning briefing at some point. It's your support that enables me to do all this. This is just the reality of it. I don't sell you ball shaving products. I don't clickbait you. I don't make endless amount of videos about nothing. All right, I do my best. And those of you that are in a position to support me do. But you can support me by just thumbsing up a video, dropping me a comment. Not too difficult, is it? You know what I'm saying? So I do appreciate you guys. Shout out to my channel members. Squat! That's the people with the football next to the name that join the channel to support me, to walk with me. Not for an exclusive signed picture of Torben Picnic to get raffled off once a month. Or, you know, exclusive this, that. Nah, just I want to support them, all right? So shout out to my channel members and, of course, my VIP members, because if it weren't for them fuckers, we wouldn't be here. All right, guys, I'll keep you updated. I think I've got something from Fabrizio Romano. Mo Salah! Coming up next. And unfortunately, I think it's about Alexander Isak. I do apologise.